Hi, I'm so glad we're all here tonight. My name is Kristy, and I'm an impact planner. You'll have to apologize, I do need 3 arms for my setup here. So I consult organizations on how to light up the future and turn the darkness into new and innovative solutions to our most complex problems. I work with for-profit companies to help them align purpose and profit and create a brighter, more just world. So that's why I spend a disproportionate amount of time looking into the darkness and the dark future. I spend my time in 2030, 2050, 2100. I think about systems and how we design them for breakdown or for continuity. I think about consumerism. We are buying our own demise every day. Every day we choose between bright and dark impact. This installation in Berlin says it all. It is called Politicians Discussing Global Warming. So ancients are defining our future as sea level rises. Ancient systems, mindsets, and tactics dominate our lives. Dinosaurs roam the earth. They are in the air we breathe. We are pumping CO2 into the atmosphere at unprecedented rates, and we don't have our eye on the ball. Our attention is entirely the wrong place. But something people do love to pay attention to? Weather porn. Weather porn, weather bombs, Category 5 hurricanes, landslides, biblical floods, 1,000-year forest fires. We are inundated with spectacle. Weathermen have become our modern-day gladiators. We're looking at the wrong things, and it feels way too big to change. Patriarchal systems are driving cannibalistic capitalism. Fuck Jimmy Choo? What is this? Am I looking at an advertisement for shoes or a crime scene? Women do not yet have a seat at the table, and that has to change because men have been in charge for thousands of years. And I'm sorry, but we're all here at Dark Futures, and we know where it's going. We are buying the 6th mass extinction. If we don't change everything, we are guaranteed a world without polar bears, tigers, and elephants by 2050. And I, for one, will not abide a world without elephants. We take selfies while we stare down the barrel of a 22% reduction in crop yields for maize, corn, and wheat. Crop failures are the norm in our dark future as global population increases to 10 billion people by 2100. We happy hour as hunger stones reveal themselves around the globe. By 2050, water demand will increase by 55% over 2000. The average price of beer is expected to double. Happy hour won't be so happy anymore. But beer is just the tip of the iceberg. By 2100, 2 billion people will be climate refugees. That is 1/5 of the total population of the planet. The average displaced person remains that way for 17 years. Our dark future is one full of suffering on a level even all of us imaginative people here can't fathom. So, late-stage capitalism is a tire fire. Darkness is falling, it's terrible, and we have to look at it. I understand why people shut down selfie, Black Friday, happy hour. I totally get it. I understand why they don't want to look at it. The ancients and the darkness are too big for us to deal with. I just happen to be one of those people that can look into the darkness and then have a sandwich. This is my superpower. I can look at the darkness and not lose my appetite. And I suspect, because you're here at Dark Futures, you're the same way. So, what happens if collectively, on a societal level, we all accept our dark future? What happens then? I believe dark impact is the clay from which we must craft elegant solutions. We can't go around it. we have to go through it. When we look at the horror of the worst-case scenario, when we realize that our backs are against the wall, we will find our most courageous, creative selves. And this is how we light it up. We look at the dark reality of disaster capitalism, and I believe we can transform capitalism, light up the future, and I personally believe benevolent corporations are going to save the world. They're going to empower women and girls through education and family planning, draw down the most comprehensive guide on reversing global warming, 2003, climate change. Lists girls' education and family planning as the 6th and 7th most effective tactic for reversing climate change. And this isn't just about population control. Women bring alternative views and strategies to government, policy, business, and defense. Globally, numbers of female peacekeepers and police are on the rise. These groups are already being deployed in conflict zones. Imagine a global force of badass women at every level of society protecting people and planet. For example, the Black Mambas. Who knows the Black Mambas? What? 2? Okay. I'm so glad you're here. They are an all-female anti-poaching squad. So what they do? Get it, they kill poachers. This is a perfect prototype for future efforts to create meaningful employment and protect biodiversity. And what if climate refugees become agricultural engineers, restoring topsoil, planting crops, and reforesting as they move? Armies of billions tending to our most valuable possession. What if companies transform toxic landscapes through soil and water remediation technology? Corporations power washing unlivable landscapes and restoring them so they may once again absorb CO2. And what if corporations turn pipelines into water transport systems and advance desalination technology? We are Canada. We have most of the world's fresh water, and we can hydrate the world. And what if refugee camps become smart cities, designed to maximize resources and easily move? Cities made of lightweight infrastructure that can shift with the patterns of weather and conflict. If we create cities that move through landscapes, they can be like starlings in the sky. We can turn human migration into human murmuration. So, how are we going to do it? This is how we're going to light up the future. We have to meaningfully redefine value. The triple bottom line, equally valuing people, planet, and profit, is the way to create a bright future. It changes everything. And this is not some far-fetched idea. It's already happening. We move through it every day, and we just don't see it. For example, 3 examples. The B Corp movement. Thousands of companies have embraced radical transparency and building impact into their business models. So you'd get to know if you buy their shit, you're leaving something better than you found it. Larry Fink, the CEO of BlackRock Investments, the $6.3 trillion man, sent a letter January 18th, 2018, stating that if you don't have a sense of purpose beyond profit, you're not going to have a business model. And finally, Danone. Danone got a $2 billion growth loan. Companies get big loans to grow all the time, except their interest rate is tied to their environmental, social, and governance performance. So, late-stage capital is burning, and the impact business movement is rising. And in our triple bottom line future, dinosaurs will fall. The ancients will crumble. Business models that externalize the cost of doing business will be forced into extinction. Companies that don't consider social and environmental value will collapse. That means Amazon, big oil, and fast fashion, because a new kind of capitalism is rising. But we have a lot of work to do. We need to ferociously boycott dinosaur companies. Don't feel powerless. We're all in this together. You may not write global policy or command vast supply chains, but you can. Our bright future is one where we make something right every time we grab our wallets. We must passionately boycott companies that are bucking the status quo. If a company can prove they're part of the solution, buy their shit. If they're just a little bit better than the guy next door, buy their shit. It's about the little things. And don't expect perfection. This is something that people do. They expect the bad guys to be bad, but they don't give credit when good guys try to be good and fall down a little bit. So these guys are trying to roll boulders up mountains. So don't demand perfection from the good guys and buy darkness from dinosaurs. So, we have 12 years to stop climate collapse and the collapse of our civilization. James Hansen said we have about 20 years before we live in an ungovernable future. We face existential threats, but take heart. The revolution has begun, and we need you. We need to drive the dinosaurs into extinction because we're consumers, and corporations are nothing without our money. So get comfortable in the darkness, grab your wallet, and join the revolution because it's time to light it up. Thank you.